Spider-Man or whatever, buy something that's like somewhere like we're talking about I'm having a cup full of nothing. Let's talk about toys.
Let's talk about toys.
You can get a bum fight. You know what? You're right.
Okay. I've been recording, by the way. I got all that. You got all that. So
sponsored by Coca-Cola.
It's sponsored by Coca-Cola. So a lot of editing on this, but it's okay.
One of our videos doesn't have us editing, or have you editing?
We have me editing
random shit out.
A track on me. I didn't even realize that spilled on me. Anyway, so welcome to the Majin cast. You just reused the damn name. Like restarted the damn podcast like 1,600,000 times, and people are like, "Are you actually gonna keep it this time or what?" So
that's none of your damn business, people.
So this podcast is going to be a little bit different. We're going to have it. I'm really trying to have it as an audio podcast too, but it's a video podcast. We're going to do these once a week. Do you think we can do these once a week? I'm thinking about 45 minutes to an hour, roughly.
I was rambling about absolutely nothing and everything.
Pretty much. Yeah. So I got the setup and everything going. That's why I kind of like, the reason that it's a toy talk video. It's a toy talk podcast. So this is not two fat guys in the movies. We're not going to talk about movies. Okay, let me renovate. We'll talk about movies a little bit when it comes out toys.
Yeah, I want to like deals with the MCU figures or
MCU, DC, like McFarlane figures. Yeah. They do DC.
Yes, I'm gonna still want a Blue Beetle, but I haven't said I wish Blue Beetle
the big one or like the standard size one.
Well, I'm not the statue one. I mean, I guess that's kind of cool if you're into that thing. I'm
not really into that.
Not super into it. I mean, God, I buy a bunch of like the anime figurines, and they call them figures, but let's face it, they're statues. They don't have to move. And
right.
I'm sorry, I'm not. Even though they're cool, I'm not gonna spend like $95 on figure arts.
And that's and make sure you lean forward that way. Come on. I guess I could. Yeah, it'll be fine.
Tell me what to do.
It'll be fine.
I'm Mr. J. I do what I want.
So, anyways, and yeah, I'm ghetto because I broke my mic stand, and so we're using a prescription for coffee for that.
Just if we knew someone had a 3D printer and could find like a 3D print file for that.
For a mic stand?
Yeah.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure.
You don't need something.
The idea was I was gonna have one for the table. I want to get one with two because I was like Lewis researching having two mics is better because then it gets you and gets me. So it's like
and people will watch like, hey, there's two microphones. That's worth watching.
Exactly. The other one that I wanted to do is I wanted to have actually originally the mic stand that I put together was behind the couch there so that I could do like things and it would catch. That's why the cable's so long it's wrapped up. But unfortunately I ended up snapping it when I was moving shit. It got caught on the thing and it fell over and just the pole didn't break. The attachment that I had for this thing is what broke, which was really cheap plastic. Ended up breaking. So anyway, and I thought this was actually a good way too, because then we can actually have a third person in this if we want, or fourth, or whatever. And I can sit more here. So yeah, as we've said already, this is a toy discussion video. Not necessarily. I don't know what kind of topics we'll cover. I mean, it'll be everything about like what we got this week. Like, is there anything that you've picked up or anything we've picked up already? Like, is there anything in our collection that we got? Like, so I was trying to think of some topics, right? So first topic is like, so what'd you get this week, right? So it's like, well, these are the things that I picked up or I've ordered that I don't have them yet. And then we can do like a segment where you talk about our collection. Like, where are you at with your collection, And then obviously you can take pictures. Or the fact that
I want to display my shit, but I got it in like two.
That's a good discussion too, because there are people out there, and I've had discussions with people who like they either say like, oh yeah, I want to collect stuff, but I don't have room, or they don't know how to display it. Like they just like like you have the traditional army men where they're just standing up in front. That's like the biggest Transformer thing. They're just standing up in front, like just in straight order.
I follow a couple different like action figure subreddits, and a lot of people ask like, how do you pose them? And people say, well, if I don't have the room, I will just do like vanilla pose where they're just upright, maybe hands that they're like this or whatever, or holding their accessories. But no, like I said, I for the longest time I have like a bunch of figures and stuff in like still in their boxes and stuff, and I want to get them out, so really a way I can do that. And I said my collection is like a little bit of hodgepodge, really like stuff that I grew up as a kid. Like right now I've got some He-Man Origins. I like those figures because as me that brings me back to my childhood, like getting all that stuff.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm an adult, and I realize that I can't afford every He-Man figure out there that I, even if I never had it as a kid. Ooh, that King Randor, I never had it as a kid, but guess what?
Well, that's exactly that brings into another thing, right? So,
like, how far
you could have every single. You could, if you wanted to, you could have every single. And that's where it comes down to like redefining your collection. Like, for example, like if you're a Transformer collector, right? There are so many different things. Like there are the Funko Pops. There are what they call Chug, which is what basically everything Hasbro puts out for the most part. Then you have the high end stuff. You have 3 levels. You have the masterpiece level. Technically, I would throw the studio series in there as like an entry level to high end because they're usually a little bit more expensive, but they usually got better paint than your traditional like say legacy. So like the studio series figure is gonna have a little bit more paint, more articulation, and it's gonna have more accuracy to what it's represented. Like for example, the Ultra Magnus. Okay, which Ultra Magnus would you say is better? Not it's not a fair comparison. The Siege or Earthrise version or the movie one because they're pretty much the same thing almost.
Oh no.
Well, no, I know that's the same, but I mean like they're the same vehicle mode, the same alt mode.
Actually, no, because we'll find out. I told you I ordered it, and
I've seen the videos of it.
And anyway, no,
but I mean like, I guess I'm seeing like the Earthrise.
Well, because
it's G1 version.
Well, basically in a sense that's still what the movie version is. Anyway,
yeah.
But no, I was like again, follow like Transformers Reddit and sort of asking what is your ultimate Ultra Magnus, and basically they're saying that they believe the Studio Series 86 and I believe the Masterpiece are both the same, where they don't have like the white cab, unlike the original toy where it was the Prime, the Siege one, same thing. We had like the white Prime cab that you put the armor onto.
Okay, so right, that was what I was gonna get to too. So you have like the Studio Series, you have the Masterpiece, and then you have the third party unofficials.
Basically, what people have been saying is the fact that the few people that have them so far is like they actually like the 86 one because they complain about it. I know there's some like quality control issues that people have talked about, but not every single one is going to have any. Let's face it,
every single thing's going to have quality control issues
because basically you have to go through a factory. There's been that one person that might miss that one piece that has like a pin or missing or a screw missing.
Right, and I've worked at a factory and I can tell you that they have like a small team of people that what they do for quality control is there's certain things you do on the line that they have to do an assembly process that everybody's just doing, right? And just do your job correctly. What they do to control that is they have a team where they'll randomly grab X number of figures throughout the day through different production lines, and then they will check them for quality. And if they find one that they find like, oh, we checked this line and we grab 5 random ones and they're all bad, they all have the same issue, then we have to recall that line and look at what's going on. So sometimes, like I said, like they might pick 1 or 2, they're fine, but there might be one in that line that was still bad and it still makes it through. That's it.
I know like the Kingdom Galvatron had like issues with like the shoulders, I think it was.
I have the Kingdom Galvatron and it doesn't bother me. I mean, he's in robot mode. I mean, I guess the shoulder is a little too hot. I guess that's what it is. Like the part that's inside, it causes the shoulder that when he sits in robot mode, the higher than it's supposed to. So whereas the Legacy, or I guess Earthrise, didn't they re-release him? Not Kingdom. That was Kingdom, and then he was re-released Legacy. But the Legacy one doesn't have battle damage though.
No, I believe that one.
There are 2 versions. There's one with battle damage and one that doesn't have battle damage. I think
there's also one I think it was like I don't know if they call them selects or whatever, where it was
not that. Shattered.
No. They have like the ones that have like the brown box with like the image artwork on it.
Yeah, that's the shattered glass ones.
No, those will come in the regular box. Anyways, they actually did one that was like a toy accurate color.
Oh yeah, the purple and white. No, not the purple and green, white. Yeah, purple gray. Okay, so Ultra Magnus. So from what I've seen for Ultra Magnus, you have, in terms of like, I would say like the best Ultra Magnuses that there is, that's out there. And then at that point, it comes down to what is your budget? Because then it comes down to what you're collecting. So like, if you've been collecting Chug figures your entire life, like you just collect, you go to Walmart, Target, whatever, Walgreens, I think they have Transformers too. If you go and you grab a Transformer figure, it's like $20. It's gonna be the Chug figure, and it just depends on like you're collecting the 86 Studios.
Yeah, I because that's why.
So they're all in scale with themselves because it's one line from 86.
I said I think we've talked about in the past where like I love going on the hunt. I love looking at the stuff. I mean, like I said, this past week I told you I finally picked up the Jessica Drew Spider-Woman. It came back on the retro card, but only because it was $750.
So $750, yep.
And so it's a figure I've seen them when they were talking about it. That's kind of cool. I want let's face it, it's a female figure, boobs, whatever. But if anyone else seems like, that's kind of a cool figure. I'm not gonna lie. I also like the costume. Boobs aside, the kind of spoken.
Right.
Again, I'm not the hugest like comic Spider-Man fan, but like I look, it's kind of a cool costume. It might be worth picking up.
Right.
It's one of those things like don't really need it though, because it's one of those things where would I put it?
And that's another thing too. Like when it comes to like refining your collection, or like you said, you could get every single Origins He-Man figure if you wanted to, but otherwise you can't get every single figure, but you could if you wanted to. But if you did, what are you cutting out? Like you said, you're collecting everything from your childhood, so you're collecting like He-Man figures, Transformer figures, what else? Ninja Turtles. We were joking about, we were talking about like, oh, maybe I was joking with Kyle. I was talking like how I hate the one of my biggest gripes with the HasLab, I almost say Galactus, Unicron, we'll talk about that too, was that it's for $600 they gave us a shell former, and my complaint was that is like, okay, I understand that they made it in a way that's for kids, like how they would have made it, like if they shrunk it down, if you shrunk it down to like an 8-inch figure, it would have still, that's how it would have transformed, right?
I don't
think about it. Think like you shrunk it down.
But I will say this.
So why did they build it that way?
I will say that. Well, I'm sure it probably made it easier to actually become the whole planet. Because I've got the. We both got the.
Well,
no, I'm talking about like the Armada Unicron. We only transformed into half.
Well, he's half a planet, right? Well, I get, but you also got to think about, when did that come out? Like 03, 04?
Oh, I don't know.
Long time ago.
All I know is I was working one night and they came in. It's like, I'm gonna put these on the top shelf, because at the time they didn't give a shit about that stuff. And I think like half an hour later, clocked out for lunch, bought one.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
And then the funny thing was, like the next night, some guy comes in, he's like, "Hey, I just on the internet that you guys had the Unicrons." Like, yeah, we had 2 of them like yesterday.
Right, I got one. I don't know about you though.
Yeah.
But no, I guess my point is that, so like third party, and I know the only third party figures you have is what, the Unicron? That's the only one he has. He has the Unicron, which
hold on, no, I have.
I'm sorry.
Pumpkin Cell.
Yes, Pumpkin Cell. It's Pumpkin Cell is what is Unicron. But the thing is, so I paid $2.99. You paid what? $3.15?
I paid like
you only paid like maybe $30-$40 more, but you also got yours on what, eBay, right?
Yeah.
You got eBay. I got mine from Showzi's store. And you know what's funny is they now have like a Chaos Bringer version that's on there now, which is like a darker black, like a black color, and that one's like $3.50.
I think the version I got was
you got the same version I got, the pumpkin.
Well, yeah, probably. No, I'm saying I think the one I got was like supposed to be like more cartoon accurate colors. I think it was. I
know the first one had lighter colors, and I think they did that because of copyright and stuff. They just didn't want to get in trouble because it was blatantly copying, because they came out at the same time the HasLab Unicron was coming out. So it was kind of like, come on guys, you probably shouldn't have done that. You should have waited. So after that was funded, then said, hey, we're doing one too.
Yeah, I'm still I'm hoping to find I actually did that one time, looked up see if I can find a 3D print files for Unicron. Because you know how much fun it would be to 3D print. I mean, it may not be able to transform, but you actually have the giant Unicron.
Oh, 3D. I mean, yeah, that'd definitely be something cool to do.
If we got more than our 4 or 5 people who actually watch this actually knows of those files, please let us know.
Please let us know, right? But yeah, no, and
or just like the head with like the broke eye.
Oh, the broken eye, and have it like, so they also, and it's, so I have like, in terms of I refine my collection, so like there are things I just won't get now. Like that's cool. Like what I loved it, like some of the Diamond Select figures, I think they're all cool, but I'm gonna pass on because they're also, and it's funny I say I pass on them because they're $50-$60. I'm like, I'm gonna pass on that, and then you turn around and look at behind me, and I got third party figures there that some of those cost me, like, so that Giant X was $175, but then I got, I don't know, did you get the Zap Megazord? You didn't get the Zap Megazord, did you? No. So and that was the thing right there, like, so the spot, so my thought is I'll either put, I don't know, I was like, either I'll get the Dragon Zord, because then if I want to display it, and then I'll put and that's actually the Legacy Thunder Megazord, and put that one in that spot because it'll fit in that spot just nicely, and have the Dragon Zord next to the Megazord, or have the Dragon Zord there, or if I want to, I can then combine them and he can be in that space and it'd be enough room for the width of the shoulders, or I can get the Astro Mega Ship and put that there. No, sorry, or I get the Astro Mega Ship and put it in that spot. The only problem is that I don't think that space is wide enough for it's in robot or in the ship mode, so it'd have to be displayed all.
Pictures I sent from 605 Antique Store. I was like,
I think so.
No, I know. I think it was like last Thursday.
Yeah, I probably did.
And I just like random things I probably figured you didn't know what they were.
I probably did. I know some of my messages sometimes come in late and stuff, and I just.
That's why I was like, that's why like one day I did it. Hey, I'm swinging by. I was waiting for you for to get it like 3 hours later. Like, what?
Oh, right. Which was funny because I was actually going out the door when you said that. I was actually going to go to Walmart. I was like, I'm actually leaving right now. I mean, is there something you need?
I was like redefine like that. I said I'm good with the He-Man Origins I have. I'm kind of looking. decided I'm going with like the Masterverse like line where they like do some good ones for the Revelation show, which they have done. Or I'm doing like the now like the Masterverse Princess of Power line, which basically takes all the princesses from the She-Ra show, turns them into actual action figures. So like a male collector, be like, yeah, I got
which is funny because I hear people talk about how back in the day when She-Ra came out, like men were upset they released that they made a She-Ra show, and I remember when She-Ra came out, I thought She-Ra, I was like, I like She-Ra. I had no problem with it.
I asked because it's the same company. Saying they had the Hordak, which made brought the boys in to watch the show. I mean, they didn't really.
I watched it for other reasons, but
well, there's also that. But no, what I'm saying is the fact that She-Ra, in the cartoon had like the bad guys could bring the boys in. However, the line itself, I'm not gonna lie. When I was a kid, when She-Ra figures came out, I actually bought a She-Ra, and I remember my mom asking me if I was getting it for my younger sisters. Like, no, because She-Ra was part of the He-Man. I mean, yeah,
well, his sister.
She had
twin sister.
so. She had like the rooted hair and all that crap. And evidently, when they re-released She-Ra for the Origins line, same thing, the rooted hair.
When they released because I never got She-Ra as a kid. Wasn't she released as an actual doll though?
Well, no, she was.
Or not because I have She-Ra now. I have the Origins one. I think it's
no, you have the
or the mask, whichever one it is, whatever one.
The mask first one where it's the Princess of Power where she actually has like the Firestar here. She basically on that body where she had like like He-Man back in the day, limited articulation, but she had rooted hair instead of actual plastic.
Oh, rooted, yeah,
like
it's the plastic hair, yeah.
Like Teal and Evil Lynn.
Yeah, they had rooted hair.
No, they had plastic hair.
They had plastic hair?
Yes, they did. I
guess I don't remember. It's
like April,
30 years ago.
April O'Neil with the Turtles line. She had the plastic,
molded hair.
And
Yeah,
like then like a few years down the line, they actually brought out things like April and the other Ravishing Reporter, where she actually had rooted hair.
Right. Yeah, I do remember they did that now and then, but I guess like for me, like I was like, okay, so what am I collecting, right? So like it just comes down to like, I was like, okay, would I love to have a display?
I was like, by Boba Fett. Never mind, it was
SuperCon. Yeah, SuperCon. That was as Kyle put it. He put it as like, wow, I enjoyed paying money to go shopping. Well, and I was like, well, did you go into the arena? And he was like, and I guess he's not the only one that they had very poor planning. They had poor planning, but they didn't advertise very well what they were having. Like there's supposed to be like a Pokemon panel. That's why we're sitting there and I was waiting for it and I was like, that's not the Pokemon panel. It probably happened in one of the rooms.
No, I think I had overheard something that they had to cancel it for one reason.
Was it canceled? Okay.
Because I think there was a couple of voice actors that weren't there. That a couple of them had done voices for the show.
Right, that's what it was supposed to be, but maybe that's what happened. I guess I didn't.
No, but it's one of the things where it's kind of cool that it expanded. But a lot of those, let's face it, if you go into a con, be it San Diego Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, there are going to be plenty of booths there selling stuff.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you go there. I mean, you go to a con. There are 3 reasons you go to a con. You're either going in cosplay, so you're either going as cosplay to get more followers. To get more followers on your Instagram account, and then those Instagram followers will then turn into like either Patreon or if you're live streaming, because a lot of them will live stream them actually building their suits, like building their outfits or whatever, and then people, hey, here's money to help you get your costume along. That's super cool, right? That's kind of the funnel. And then you enter the contest to try to win prize money, and then some people do it as it's like a hustle, like a side hustle. They make enough money from it to basically fund making new costumes, but they still gotta have a full-time job. Then there are the some, which I'm sure both of us follow, that don't have to work at all. And they get professional photo shoots and they go all over the world to different cons.
Have like boobs and an ass
most of them do. There's some guys. There are a couple guys that do that are there's probably for every
OnlyFans girl you have out there who like
that's another thing too. Yeah.
Look at my ass and like this really skimpy Japanese
right
school
outfit. Yeah. But yeah, like my complaint with that, not to kind of segue to it,
all I know was my Barf cosplay was like a hit last year.
Right. Loved it. My biggest issue with the con,
you weren't there.
I wasn't there, but you told me, and the meme told me. The biggest complaint that I had with SuperCon was the fact that they added more. There were more vendors there, which is cool. That's a good thing. They're having more vendors there. That gives more options for different people to come in and buy different things. And, the space was so small. There was this one place that they had all these things hanging in bags, and like every time I wanted to go over there and look, it was, I think you were able to get in there and look, but I was like, both of us in there ain't happening. And like and it's just like it was so compact, and I was just like,
things where there's like one place called House Toy store, toy shop, or something like that. Just like an eBay only store or an online store. I think they have like an eBay store too. But anyway, their prices are back. They'll actually straight up tell you like they're selling like what was it a sludge original sludge dino bomb, but they're like missing half of the like.
I didn't really say that it was missing anything. I would say they price things accordingly.
Well, no, it was that because if you look at it, you display it one way, because they had like part of, I guess like the wings when he's in a robot mode, the wings, if you will.
Yeah, it was missing.
Like,
well, I bought Skywarp from them. I think it's one of the figures I bought. And what other as a G1 Skywarp, other it being like super loose and it was missing its stickers, it was missing some of the stickers. The only thing it was missing was the missiles and the hand pieces. Like I don't know if you remember the Seekers originally had little hand pieces that actually attached.
I think you remember I told you I had bought the dirt,
which I think you can 3D print. You can get those pieces 3D printed, and it's like that I have them. But he's in jet mode anyways.
No, but like I say, they'll let you know. I mean, it's one of those things where it's eBay. I bought a few G.I. Joe vehicles, vintage G.I. Joe vehicles. Well, one I thought was vintage, and then ended up actually being the repo, or they repoed the Tomahawk. If anyone remembers,
it was a re-release, right?
It was for like the G.I. Joe Retaliation movie. However, I'm calling it the original Tomahawk now because I actually have the pilot for it.
Oh,
even though I actually do have the pilot for
there you go.
The Retaliation one. But no, like I said, they'll let you know I was missing something, and yeah, you know the prices were pretty good. But then there's like people that were selling like vintage turtle figures in the plastic bags, like $55 for a robotic Rocksteady, who's like you can tell I've seen better days because like half like the chrome and
$8. Well, that's the thing too.
No.
I mean, I would offer $8.
There was the other place though, but yeah, he's like chrome, like back metal was like so bad.
Well, like they had this one booth had a Jetfire or Skyfire or whatever.
I believe it was Skyfire.
It was so So here, to clarify because I looked it up. In the show, he was called Skyfire. I don't know why he was called Skyfire in the show. They called him Skyfire. On the toy, there are two versions of the toy. There is the one that was released in Japan that says Skyfire. The one that was released in the United States says Jetfire. And because the show took off in America, well, I mean, it took off in Japan too, but a lot of the manufacturing Transformers was made for the United States. So as it progressed, the Skyfire name was dropped because then Hasbro got the rights to use the name Jetfire. Also, which is why he's called Jetfire now in every other media since.
If anyone actually listening on History Channel, they have in the next few Sundays is a show called Toys That Made America. The new season started last Sunday, and it actually talks about Transformers and GoBots. Here's a funny story from that season. One of the guys who they were kind of spitball names for like the GoBots, and like the one guy comes up and they go Transformers, and I was like, one guy's like, no, that's not gonna work. and the funny thing was because they actually got the GoBots from Bandai Japan.
Yep, GoBots were a completely different line, and they actually came out first.
Actually, here's what they did.
They came out first, and they had a cheaper price point too because they were smaller.
I believe they were back then. Even Transformers were cheaper. But no, it basically I think they got them out like November because I think Hasbro was trying to get
this Christmas season.
Well, no, they were trying to get for the next toy fair in February. So they were trying to they were making deals with Takamura Tomy. And do you actually know that Tonka, before they got bought out from Hasbro, was actually located in Minnesota?
Yes,
you did that.
I did know that. I did know that.
You're lying.
I did know that. He's gonna Google it. Did
No.
Mr. Professor Prime know that? No. So like for me, like my collections, like I like okay, what I want to, I just collect what I think is cool. What I love to have like a two shelves and have every single G1 have a definitive version of every single G1 Transformer from G1 season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to Victory. Yes.
There's only 4 seasons.
I'm including the Japanese shows too, because some of these characters continued on. Like for example, RC continued on into Headmasters and into Victory, but
however,
I think she died in Victory. She was written out for some reason because then they had other female fembots characters that came in.
I feel what's funny is the fact that when they hit like the Japanese started their own basically.
It didn't start. They just continued. They just didn't bring it here.
However, Daniel was not RC's head. She was not a headmaster in that series.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure. Yeah.
It's been a long time since I watched Headmaster.
I remember I was watching one episode. I think it was the one where they all got infected with some kind of the red virus that turned even the Autobots evil.
Oh no, you're talking. So
no,
that's the ending of season 3.
No, I'm actually talking about the one from episode because this one was in Japan, all Japanese, and had Willie and Daniel.
Are you talking about the one where Optimus Prime and Hot Rod actually teamed up together against Galvatron? Because Optimus came back twice.
No, this one here actually had Optimus and Optimus. I think it was
Optimus was dead, and he was dead obviously from the movie.
No, but
they came back with it was like the rage virus or something, where everybody got infected, even Rodimus got infected, and then Skylinks got a Quintesson from whatever their planet is. I can't remember their planet name is, or one of their planets, and brought him to Earth to try to revive Optimus Prime. Because then they coated him in like this alloy that prevented him from being affected by the rage virus.
Yeah,
whatever it was called.
I might be getting those mixed up, but I do know that I remember watching something like the Headmaster show, and in Japanese you have subtitles on. So
Right.
But no, that was actually Daniel and Wheelie. And he actually, their RC was still like around, not with in car mode, because Daniel, her head was he was actually in his suit.
Exosuit, yeah.
No, he was actually in like the suit from the Transformers movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's been a long time since I watched Headmasters, but yeah. Anyways, like for me, like I just want to collect like what I think is cool, but like in line of like what, because like I have like for the most part my He-Man collection is done. Like I have all the major players. I have Beastman. For me, anyways. Like everybody has their different opinion of what would be considered the main cast. I would consider like Skeletor, Evelyn, Beastman, and the Snapjaw or Trapjaw. I don't have it. That's the one I don't. That's one I don't have.
It's like me with like the Super 7 Thundercats. I said I'm buying the 4 Thundercats team, which I think I have one showing up like in December, and the other, one of them, Wily Kit, was next year anyway. And because like I don't know how this happened, where it's Snarf was the first one I pre-ordered, and he's like, oh, December, and then like Wily.
You're getting the one you pre-ordered later first.
No, actually, because that's where they changed everything.
Oh, okay.
No, it's Wily Cat. It's next year, like next May, I think they said it was. Wily Kit was supposed to come out like November, the start following December. However, they changed up something where now Wily Kit and Cat are both coming in 2024, which I'm cool that they're paid for. I don't have like worry about like, oh shit.
Oh, money comes out, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm those people.
Well, it's like I was never a huge Thundercats fan.
And the only villain I have is Mumra.
And Mumra, yeah. I was
never living.
I was never
the other ones, but like
I was more of a Silverhawk fan than I was Thundercats, because they're from the same studio, but one was less popular. Like I would say Silverhawk was less popular than Thundercats, obviously. And Silverhawk and Thundercats has actually, I think, had two animation reboots since its original.
Because they had the one where evidently people hated it so much that I guess I don't think that people that had so much hate against it, because if you went on IMDb back when they had message board, people were just
hating on it, yeah. And whereas Silverhawks has never had any. Now, granted, I have seen when I was in Vegas, and I think Starfighter, I think they might have had one of the Silverhawks. Not they had the one villain, the what's his name? No, I would have grabbed if it was Monstar, because he's one of my favorites. No, it was the yellow one with the blades. Has a blade on his head.
Oh,
can't remember his freaking name. Buzzsaw. Yeah, it's been so long I watched Silverhawks. I can't remember any of the freaking names. The problem is like I don't have a space for them. So I'm just like where I just like I'm gonna have space because I've made the decision I'm just gonna stay here until like it gets too expensive, or if I actually come across a house that's moderately within good budget of paying for it. Because it's a lot. Because I was thinking about it, it's a lot to move. It's a lot to pack up. It's a lot to move, and I would rather just stay where I'm at. Hopefully things level out or whatever. But I digress. So it's like I have limited space, and so like for Power Rangers, like I collect Power Ranger. Like you guys can see, I collect Power Ranger figures, but like I don't collect every single thing Power Rangers. Like I grew up with Mighty Morphin, so I have the Megazord, and I decided which Megazord I want. I could go get the vintage one if I wanted to. I could pay the $250 and go get a vintage one. But I was like, you know what? I was like, the Zap Megazord was like Thanks, Brian. I mean, it's one of those things where I was like, you know what? I want one that's articulation. I saw a couple third-party ones, but then like the scale wasn't there for me. Like they're either like I do have that one. I did get that one. It's called Beast Lord, and what's cool about I got it for two reasons. I didn't actually think it was gonna be that small. It was only $100. No, it was like $80, right? So I figured it'd be a little bigger than that. But what's cool about that is that it comes with an alternate mode, and you can kind of do it as you want. So it has like the wings, because like the pterodactyl actually has like a whole like it's just like the back wings, and you can attach the pterodactyl like as you normally would on the Megazord just onto it. So like the pterodactyl is like a big giant bird instead of like a little bird. But you got obviously Megazord mode. You've got the tank mode, and then you can attach all that extra stuff to it. And there's actually a different head place. There's actually another head that comes with it. So it's for copyright, because like all the little heads come in like the mastodon head, the feet, and the pterodactyl all come in a separate box. So it's like just like when you got the Unicron pieces came in a separate box.
Yeah, it was the head and the wings.
The head and the wings came in a separate box.
What I like about that one, you actually, I haven't done it yet because I've been kind of lazy, but you actually like plug like where all the screw holes are. You have the little plugs you can put in. You actually don't see the screw holes.
Yeah, they come with a little. I didn't do it on mine either. I was like, whatever, I don't really care.
But no, it's like here's I've seen a Reddit stuff. I'm like, did you ever get like burnout? I don't know people that, like I said, I'm good on my origins. But I haven't seen any new Masterverse. Like right now, the only one I'm like kind of looking for is the new Eternia Faker. I haven't seen it in the stores. I mean, I'm trying to end up buying that.
Right. He turned off.
No, but it's like I said, like again, like you get yourself the Megatron Primes, how you have your once Star Wars. I'm not looking for everything. I'm looking for like the figures that kind of cool. Like I think I've got 2 different Mandalorians. One of the best armor, one like the original armor started out with. And I'm good. I don't need the one for removable helmet. I actually bought through eBay for the Black Series Grogu back then, known as the Child when he was released.
When he was released, right?
But anyway, I bought like a 3D printed pram or a little floating thing. For some reason, I think I just thought it was really cool. And I don't. Most things now I realize that I have to paint it, but I don't have to if I don't want to. But
No,
it comes with they made like they had a stand where, and so the Grogu actually fit right in there.
Nice.
And like I said, from was it the 1313 Mockingbird Lane, which was like I don't know if we're really talk about going down there fully, but they have a shop that's like 5.5 hours away from us, and I like how they do their business where it's all on their different social medias. I don't know if they're on Twitter or not, but
I haven't seen them on X.
Whatever.
Get it right.
I'm not the only. I've seen several other people still refer to it as Twitter. Anyway,
Yeah, it's so dumb.
Anyways, and people can charge $1. It was like I guess $1 for a whole year ain't bad, but
It's so stupid. Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know if they're on Twitter or not, but I know that their Facebook, their actual website, all their social medias have different things shown on there. Because I was talking to the guy and I said, I told him
yeah, he mentioned that he did that.
I go because it's a really cool idea that way. Because he had I think he said the Jabba's Palace set with the Rancor from like San Diego Comic-Con, where like the Rancor's in the pit below, and the box displays it so nicely. I've seen it on someone else's YouTube channel. They're talking about the new Black Series Jabba coming out. Anyways, he said that he actually sold that in store to a customer when someone from England wanted to buy it online. And he said the guy was really cool about it, so that's why they decided to split it up, which I think is kind of cool. Because I've been trying to get into them. When I was a kid, Mask was also a thing, and I had the firecracker truck with Hondo McLean, and the only bad guy I had was the guy with the piranha, the little sidecar that turned into like a little sub.
So like you were talking about, I have like my Optimus shelf. The only thing I'm missing on that Optimus shelf is Armada, and then Armada Megatron. Now obviously I can get Armada Megatron. I've seen it in store several times. I just haven't decided yet. Do I want to? Yeah, with the whole. Well, it's like I decided I don't need to get the Galvatron version because it's the same figure, it's just different color.
Yeah.
It's the same figure. He just called himself Galvatron. But I was like, do I want to get the third-party version or wait for another release of a third-party version, or do I want to get the Hasbro, or do I want to wait to see if there's a Masterpiece version that comes? I doubt that, but so I haven't pulled the trigger on that yet. But it's like I got that, and then it's like I was like, so there's 2 spots. I do want to make a Marvel Legends section, but just like I'm not gonna go crazy like some people. They just want to like I got Galactus and I got the Fantastic Four, and I might want to try maybe do like I'll have the Fantastic Four. I've got Wolverine. I might just do the X-Men, like the original base X-Men, like Iceman, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Beast, Professor Xavier, and then Angel, and then throw Wolverine in there. I know Wolverine's not originally part of the X-Men crew, but throw him in there, and then probably throw Gambit in there and Rogue, just because I know they're technically X-Men Blue Team, I think is what it was called.
Oh yeah,
or they were from or I guess I should say the team from X-Men in the animated series.
Well,
and Magneto. That's it. That's all I need. I don't need all the other villains.
That's what I was thinking about doing. But I kind of want to set up my own teams out there for a while. And I think I've built X-Force as much as I can, except for things.
So it's Deadpool.
No. I'm not going with X-Force. No, I'm talking about not the movie one. I'm
talking about in the comics. It's Deadpool. I guess the first one it would be like Cable, Forge. No, that's X Factor, isn't it?
No, well, X-Forge was an X Factor. Yes, I've got Cable. I bought the 3, but the first time they did Cannonball, they only did it with like the blast effect.
Yeah. That's right, Cannonball. That's the other one I was thinking of.
Because they released him with legs in a 3-pack with it was Cannonball, Richter, and Domino.
Right.
So I bought those, and I already had a Cable. Then I thought, well, shoot, since I have these guys, I need Sunspot and Warpath, which I think I either ended up ordering from GameStop or eBay. One of the other. I got him. Bought a Shadow Star loose from eBay. You know, just a figure with a sword. So they're right. You know, I'm good with that. Then I picked up Siren. Right now, I believe the only one they're missing that they have not made. I've seen people do kit bash versions. You know, custom is Feral. Same thing. Well, actually, technically, they did have a Wolfsbane out, but she was on the New Mutants.
Gotcha.
Body.
Like I'm getting to the point now where like if I get a new figure, like it's like it's an upgrade of a figure. Like I was gonna get to. So I want to get the base crew of the Silverhawk. So that'd be like the base 4 and the there's 4 and then the pilot 4 and the pilot because there's the kid, the twins, the leader, and then the dude with the guitar.
You mean
I would love to have
this Copper Kid, Quicksilver, Still Will, Still Heart, and
Bluegrass. That was the other one. I thought and then getting the ship potentially a thought.
You know what's actually funny is Big Bad Toy Store last week or earlier this week had the Thundercake on sale for $400.
Woo!
That's how much that's the Super 7 one.
Well, I know it's still woo.
And no, because I think it's like $50 less than what it actually retailed. The
original.
And I'm like looking. I was like, that's really cool and all, but I've seen pictures. The thing is massive.
Right. That's why I'm like.
Really, the thing is cool. Here's the thing. At the time, I mean, I don't have quite the money for it now, but then I could have easily, bought it. So that was pretty much it.
Well, it's just like I think it was either for Christmas or whatever it was. I got you Fortress Maximus, which is crazy. That was before they were calling them Titan classes. No, they were called Titan classes back then.
Yeah, but back then it was only 150.
It was 150. No, yeah, it was 150. Now they're $200 now. And then I bought Triptychon, and I ended up giving it to you because I didn't know where to put it. It was always in the floor. Did I give it to you with a box too? I don't remember if I kept the box with that.
I think it did, but
because I didn't put the stickers on it either because I hate putting stickers on shit.
Yeah, okay.
Which is why what's not over here anymore. But I have a seeker shelf. So like there's a couple seekers I'm missing that I would like to get. A couple seekers and Coneheads that I'd like to get. And then it just comes down like when it comes to a Verity shelf like that, I don't care about scale. So I have masterpieces on there. I'm gonna have third party on there. I have Studio Series on there. I have G1 on there. Oh, that's what I'm missing. I'm also missing a G1 version of Megatron and Optimus Prime for the shelf too. Even though technically I have one because I have third party versions of the characters and how they look. Anyways,
I don't care if people want to roast me with this, but even as a kid, I hated the robot mode of Megatron.
Oh, I fucking hated it. That's why I never bought it. I saw it once. Saw it once in the store. I hated it. No. That's why
I had a friend that had it, and I remember a few years ago, Hallmark had done because I have I think I have the Starscream, the Bumblebee, and Grimlock ornaments, and they had brought one out for Megatron. And I looked at it and go, I think ugly as hell. No.
But yeah, so that, and then I would need, and then like my last, what I don't have a display for my Marvel Legends yet, and then I want to have a display for. I'm gonna kind of have I think about have a display. It'll be like the Silverhawks and then Mask. I'll put those together. And I remember what I had as a kid. I don't remember the names, but I'm sure you might remember. Or you'll just look it up for me. I had the truck, the big truck, or Masks. We're talking Masks now. The big truck where the side opened up and it was like a rocket that came out, and it was basically like a giant like fired missiles and stuff out of it. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like the side of it open. I had the car where the back trunk popped open and the doors opened up and popped out like wings. I got that at a flea market for like $10.
Well, okay,
it didn't have the figure though. I didn't have the guy with it, but it was just the car. I never had the figure.
Red one?
The red one where the door opened up.
That was
the leader.
That was the figure I thought about buying from that Hal's toy store.
Oh, okay.
But that's the only thing. Yeah, get the figure.
But you don't have the car.
Yeah.
I had the car, but I didn't have the figure. I had his son. I think it was his son. His son with the little T-Bob. I had that figure. I had the helicopter. That was the motorcycle. It was a motorcycle that turned into a helicopter. I had that one. I did have the figure for him. I had the I think it was the Jeep, and the Jeep opened up and it was like a boat that shot out. I had that one. I don't remember if I had the figures for that one though. And then for the villains, I had the helicopter / jet, and I had the villain for that one. And then the other one I had was like a guy and a girl or whatever. Because like there was was like two teams, like a guy and a girl for the good guys for Mass that were in the big truck, the big semi truck one.
No, that was actually Matt Tracker and.
It was like a guy and a girl, right?
No, two guys.
It was two guys. Okay, well there was I guess there was one that was a woman. I don't guess someone.
They're.
I don't know which her thing was then. But I did have that figure. But I guess. But anyways, but there was another one.
I think she had like a white wire gray car that turned into like a little like sub type thing.
Okay, I don't think I had her then. I had her, but I didn't have her vehicle. But I had it was like a truck. It was like I want to say it was an SUV that like it popped up halfway. It had like missiles on the side and it had like a turret on the back.
Yeah,
that would pop out, and it had like two drivers. I think it was a guy and a girl. I want to say it was. Maybe it was.
The one I'm thinking of is.
They were the bad guys though. They were the villains.
No, the one I'm thinking of actually had, I believe it was Hammer. Anyway, I had seen it at the 605, and the person wanted like $60 for it and wasn't complete. Like, nah, dude, because it's part of the cost of a. And I tried looking up on eBay like I usually do, find the parts to see how easy they're to get. Not many places had.
Not many pieces. Mask was one of those things that had I don't want to say a limited run. I mean, it was popular, but it wasn't GI Joe popular. It wasn't Transformer popular. You know, it was like Rock Close, which is what I was going to mention before. Like we were talking about how I hated shell formers. Like that's my biggest gripes with Transformers are shell formers. Like I feel that's the laziest way of a Transformer I've ever seen, and that's why I was upset that the HasLab Unicron was a shell former for $600. You could have done better, Hasbro. I'm sorry, you could have done better. There are third-party companies for way less money, way less resources, and engineering did better. Now, yes, people argue third-party figures sometimes have tolerant issues, and you know sometimes you have to bend parts over things. Yes, I agree.
No,
that
heard there or something like
Devil's Savior is like the worst figures I've ever had in terms of like most of my third-party figures I can transform them back and forth, no problem. Sometimes I have to go watch a video again to remember how to do it because it's been so long. But those figures, like there's like three of them that I can just do no problem. The other ones, it's like I gotta be very careful because shit I've had pieces break on.
I've actually heard where I think it's like certain companies who make them, not just like all third party. They're like certain companies that they're the plastic that they use.
It depends where they did the factory and what they use for the molding. But
I think we should probably do something. Well, I'm saying because we got places to go, and then we could do our toy hunting on the way. Like oh hey, look at this figure, that's cool.
So we could do that too. But yeah, I mean he didn't get to everything. What we still got?
Well, anyways, like I said, if you want to go hit and run too, I said I don't care.
Oh right.
Anyway,
well, let's finish it off with one last thing.
Well, it's like going back to like how like I've seen several times on like Twitter where people were talking about like, oh my god, Nick is doing like this character from the Turtles cartoon line who appeared in like a episode, or there's like some who actually didn't.
Yeah.
And people they're like, oh, I really hate how people keep saying that they're the total past. Well, dude, they are. For those people who want them, I'm great, man. I'm glad they've got that weird guy who was in that one episode.
Well, here's the thing: what if you're a completionist and you want every single character that ever appeared in the animated in the cartoon?
Well, yeah.
So you might have like there's that tower you're talking about. Like we've seen it at Target a couple of times. The tower where they got all turned into rats. What was that, like one episode?
Oh no. Actually, that had was it the cat girl from Channel 6? Where it's not. They actually have like it was the same Comic-Con exclusive, shared exclusive, where it came with April as a cat. People were complaining like, well, can we use that as like they complained about the first April, how she's like too short or something. And I picked up the Ultimate April, which evidently looks pretty much the same to me, but eventually they had like neck issues. Anyways, and I've seen it. That's great. But I think the Irma and the Vernon. No, Vernon came with Rat King. I don't know if he had his rat parts in that one or not. But anyway, that's again, Rat King. Hey, that's cool. I said, well, from again 1350 Mockingbird Lane, I bought the arcade Turtles in Time Leatherhead to stick in my cartoon set for like the bad guy, because I don't care if he has like a little pixelated look on him, because I have the Slash from that same line.
Right.
That's my because like the Slash from like the cartoon look even like the toy looked nothing like the toy, which I get it. It's I'm not gonna sit there and say, oh well, this figure didn't look like that, in the cartoon. And the cartoon they had they had like all these characters in cartoons, but it's great. Like I said, for the people who some of these shows were like later seasons that I don't remember seeing, so I was like,
I think I stopped watching it right around like it was like 93.
Well, so I ended up
in like season 3 or something.
I had bought like the pack, the complete series at Walmart, and ended up getting the digital copy for free. So I've been watching that, and I'm like in season 5, and I'm like trying to like seeing this thing, one character showed, and I was like, what is that?
Right, exactly. But
You know, I said again.
I get it. You know, it's like for like Transformers, they haven't released every single G1 figure, like I guess re-release. So if you're trying to get like a Definity,
supposedly, I don't know. People have. I've heard a few people. You know, I've read a few people's comments that they say that when they're doing the Studio Series 86, that they're supposed to, if they have screen time, they're doing them. Well, technically, Snarl did have screen time, so they blink and you miss it. You know,
they did. They did do them though.
Yes, I know, and I haven't.
Yeah,
I haven't seen them in stores, but you know,
nope, I haven't seen the stores yet.
You know, I bought them from Canada.
Well, so what about oh my god, what about Wheeljack? He had screen time. Yeah, he's on the ground dead.
So it's Wind Charger. No, it's
yes, they were on the ground.
No, supposedly that's the thing. They're if they have screen time, they're even dead or not. Which I'm sure makes them like let's say we hit target before or after whatever, and they happen to have the dead Prowl and
Ironhide, right?
Yeah,
Ironhide and Prowl, right? Yeah. Because why have it be Ratchet? It's the same mold twice. Like.
Oh no, screw you. They actually Ratchet has been found in stores along with Frenzy.
Oh yeah, I know they have done them. Yeah, red version.
No,
Red Frenzy.
Well, in the cartoon it was Frenzy, in the toy it was actually Rumble. But
I know.
Evidently that's like a whole thing. I read on Reddit in the Transformers subreddit. You cannot bring that up because if you will be either temporarily banned or you will be
because it's been like it's like the debate on who is Cyclonus and who is the Sweets or Scourge.
Yeah.
Because of the whole animation errors between the Insecticons and then later on in season 2 season 3 you actually see Skywar. But I'm like, he's a drone. Like they're the Seekers are drones. They're not all drones, but they could, like the one you saw could have been a drone.
Well, like I said, I think it was like one time somebody shared a picture again on Reddit where like it showed like a differently. I don't say it sounds stupid, but a different colored Optimus Prime. I think it's just like a background character.
Yeah,
and that's
reused assets to make the.
It's like Disney with I think it was like Robin Hood, and I can't remember. There was like another movie where in the Jungle Book part animated back in the day, Disney reused the artwork for Baloo in Robin Hood movie of Little John because it was the same character. So they just added clothes, but they used the same animation.
And then they also, I think, they used the same character in another show too.
Well, it's basically that's how it was back in the day. You
just reuse assets. I mean, yeah, it's cheaper. So yeah, I thought let's end it off with I don't know about maybe it'd be a positive. I don't know. Giant Man. What do you think? What is your thoughts? Like, I know you're not a huge Avengers fan. I'm not a huge Avenger fan either.
Like I said, I'm not gonna lie. It's one of those like, but it's kind of cool to get. Like,
so it's $199. I'm gonna have to double check again because I'm pretty sure I did not pay. I'm pretty sure I did not pay shipping for my Galactus. I bought 3 Galactuses now. Like he got one. He paid me back, and I have one extra. But so I remember I bought one separate because I was like, I'm gonna get one. And then he was like, well, if you have the money now to back it, because I won't have the money when it's time due. If you would be willing to do that for me, I'll just I'll pay you back. And implements, and which he did. And so then I was like, you know what? I have the extra money too. It'd be a nice investment. Just buy a third one because I figured it would be worth something because it's Galactus. Since even though as crappy as I feel the Unicron was, it's still $1,600 on most websites. On eBay. I mean eBay and on Big Bad Toy Store, it's like around $1,600 for Unicron. So I figured at some point Galactus will get up there. Maybe it's probably like $500 right now. Maybe $600.
Anyway, yeah, Giant Man is at 6,437. So it's 64.37%.
So 4,000 more people got to back this thing.
With 4 days, 7 hours, 27 minutes.
So that means they'd have to get a minimum of 1,000 people backing it. Now I had backed it, and after I didn't pay. I just the sum would have been about $230. And I looked at it and I said to myself, I was like, well, I have some things coming up that I should have the money for. But if I buy this, because I was like, one of those things was like, it was one of these things like, okay, I'll get Giant Man, but if it gets back, if I get Giant Man, that just means I'm not gonna get Ultra Magnus because it's $100 for Ultra Magnus, and then I won't be able to get the other upgrade set for that. I mean, not right now. No.
Oh, okay.
So that guy is from the current Sentai show, and there's a 3 set of figures that attach to it, and then there's a castle piece that attaches. So there's 4 more Zords I got to get for it.
One of the pictures I did send you was of I believe it was actually Armada Starscream from not the new one, but the original.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, someone had rock orders there, but unfortunately they were in a case. They were kind of behind us because I couldn't see prices. Because they had
the Armada Starscream. Oh yeah, okay, nice. Oh, here are the pictures. Oh yeah.
That one to me looked like it was quite possibly Power Rangers, but I wasn't sure like the little.
Oh, the star.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Zeo. That's the red Zeo Zord. Yeah, that's the original Armada. not really that bad of a price though when you think about it.
Well, no.
$43.
Like I said, they had like the rock, like the little gold nugget one. I think we both remember we seen one at that in the SuperCon and we talked about it. We both had that one. Yeah, like the silver one, but like I said, they had the little tag, just the way they were placed in it. It was like trying to see how much it was, but it wasn't impressive. I should have made up my mind.
Right. But yeah, I was like, well, I have some money I need to use right now, which would then put me at, if it gets back in the end of the month here, I wouldn't have the money to pay for it. And then my thought was like, well, it's $240. I'm like, there's no way this thing's there's no way it's going to 14,000 back.
Hey, you know what? You should get your integrated suit Spider-Man and have him hold the box. That's like a name for it, but I don't start with an M. You know, when it looks like he's like kind of jumping through the air.
Oh, that one, yeah. Well, that's what I was kind of going to do. Because, I mean, that's the closest one. They haven't released that Spider-Man yet, I don't think.
The integrated suit, yeah.
Have they?
Yeah.
Is that the one that came in the 3-pack?
Oh, yeah, the 3-pack. People are going, oh, people bought the 3-pack. People. I actually responded to somebody afterwards, like, I bought the 3-pack. I don't care. I mean, it's basically,
because I know they're releasing the Amazing Spider-Man Marvel figure, but they're releasing it as the Amazing Spider-Man figure, not Amazing Spider-Man 2, because they have the rights to that one, but they can't release it as No Way Home, which is weird, but whatever.
But no, like I said, I'm gonna get those two. I mean, I'm sure I could. Because I said I can't pay for shit, so I would almost rather buy some 3D printed head online that's already painted. If I wanted to go that route, or just buy the figures, like
right. So yeah, I don't.
Like I said, people are complaining. Here's the thing, like that this final scenes. I don't know what they're calling it, but basically Spider-Man. The last time you see Spider-Man No Way Home with like the shinier blue in the costume, the more comic accurate costume, I guess, if you will.
Oh right, but yeah, like I think that'll wrap it up. This was kind of all over the place, but it was our first time doing it. We didn't. I got ideas now. Now that we actually, I had ideas, but then like they're just kind of, now I have ideas of what we could actually do going forward. Some things we didn't get to, like we kind of got to them, but we didn't. Like what you got this week thing. Well, that's okay. We can do that.
We'll do a video, maybe do a video about part of it tomorrow.
We can do that later, another time. But yeah, thanks you guys so much for watching. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully the audio comes out good. If not, the audio is gonna suck, and I apologize, but it should be okay because I've been kind of watching it on my laptop in the corner here, and it's been moving, so it's picking up something. And we haven't been smacking the table at all, so besides that, so there shouldn't be any vibrations or anything like that. So, and thank you guys for watching, and until next time.